Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, I will be reading from the R. Am I the asshole subreddit, so let's jump into it. A week ago, I went out with friends. One of them, let's call him John, got so drunk they couldn't walk. My friend was going to Uber John home, but I said, I'll let him sleep at my place. When we got to my apartment, John got out of the car and fell asleep in a puddle. It was raining like crazy. I had to drag him inside. I leave him there, and he was twitching his head and could barely move. He was dead weight. I went into another room and he peed himself. The next day, John was extremely embarrassed. He said he was sorry. He was a burden, and thankful I took care of him. He made me take $50 to buy cleaning supplies. And he bought me breakfast, then Ubered to his car. He cleaned up too. I didn't see him since until a friend had a dinner party. At the dinner party, I kept saying John had an Uro the other day. John, why don't you tell everyone? Then he kept saying no, and this is UNT respectful of his boundaries to keep pushing if he said no. Then I showed everyone a video of John twitching and passed out because I thought it was harmless and funny. John was like, this isn't the place. And then I was like, John, tell everyone what happened. The next day, John texted me. Listen, sorry I was a burden, but I didn't intentionally do that. I think it was unnecessary and cruel you tried to humiliate me at a dinner party with all our peers. And then he blocked me. I didn't think it was a big of a deal, as he made it. So OP, our stories are kind of similar. So I have some thoughts. I am not an asshole, but I am absolutely guilty of doing something similar to OP, so I feel like I could relate to both sides here. First of all, OP, I think you were absolutely right to help your friend John out. He needed help and you stepped up, and that is something to commend. You helped a friend in need and you even cleaned up after them. That takes a certain level of maturity and responsibility that a lot of people do not possess. So I really commend you for that. I also think that you gave John more than enough chances to explain what happened. You gave him plenty of time to tell his story before you told other people. However, I think where you crossed the line was telling other people without asking John first. Again, I am guilty of doing something similar to this. In my case, it was a bit different. I had a really good friend. Let's call him Sam. Sam did something really stupid, but he didn't intend to do it. He accidentally leaked some of our group chats to the whole group chat. Now, mind you, in these group chats, we made fun of our other friends. We would roast our friends just like anyone else. But obviously, when he sent those messages to the whole group chat, those friends felt betrayed, and rightfully so. In their defense, if someone sent my private conversations that I had with my friends to the whole group chat, I would feel betrayed too. Sam apologized profusely and said he was really sorry and that it would never happen again. However, a few days later, our other friend started telling other people about how Sam leaked these group chats and started making fun of Sam. And this just kept spreading, and more people knew about it. Every time Sam apologized, our friend would say, oh, yeah, well, you should apologize to everyone else, not just me. And we were like, dude, come on. But he kept pushing and kept guilting Sam until Sam caved and sent a group text apologizing to everyone. Now, I was really mad at our friend because I told him this was wrong and he wasn't respecting Sam's wishes, but he said he was tired of being nice and that he wanted to stand up for himself. This made me lose a lot of respect for this friend of mine because he was acting like he was the victim. Like, dude, you're the one who's acting like a child right now. You're the one creating this drama. You're the one making this a bigger issue than it needs to be. Now, I completely understood why Sam reacted the way he did. I told him I was sorry for what happened and that he didn't owe anyone an apology. But Sam still felt terrible and wanted to apologize. So I helped him write a group text message to apologize. After he sent the message, he finally felt relieved and he thanked me for helping him out. And I know this story is very different from OP's. But I feel like my story is relevant because I feel like I did something similar to OP. I told Sam he didn't owe anyone an apology, but he still wanted to apologize because he felt guilty. And in the end, I helped him write an apology message because I wanted to be a good friend. Now, after all of this, I do own it regret helping Sam because he was a good friend and he didn't mean to leak those messages. But I do regret telling other people about Sam leaking the messages because I should have respected his privacy. If you're watching this, Sam, I'm sorry about what happened. It was totally not cool for me to tell other people. And 2 OP, I think you were in the wrong for telling other people about John's accident. You told them multiple times to tell their story, but they declined, and then you just decided to tell everyone yourself. I think you should have respected John's boundaries. Now, I know some people might say, well, Opie, you should have asked John first. Then if he said no, you could have told everyone anyway. To that I say, why would you even ask if you're just going to tell them anyway? Why would you ask if you know that you're just going to ignore their answer? If you're just going to do it anyway, then don't even bother asking. But if you ask and they say no, then you should respect that boundary. OP, I think John feels humiliated and ashamed about what happened, hence why he kept declining to tell the story. Hence why he blocked you. Imagine if you accidentally peed yourself in front of your friends. You would probably want to hide from everyone and be very ashamed. This is exactly how John felt. You should have respected his boundaries instead of humiliating him in front of your friends. As for the people who are defending OP, I'm sorry, but you're just bad friends. If your friend has done something shameful and they're too ashamed to talk about it, you shouldn't force them to talk about it. You should be there to support them. You should make sure they know you're there for them. And if they want to talk about it, you should be ready to listen. But you should never force them to talk about it. But what do you think? Am I the asshole?